All right, just wanted to begin by thanking James Franklin and Pat Kraft for giving me this great opportunity to be defensive coordinator here at Penn State. Just a tremendous tradition, and so fired up, excited to be given this opportunity. And also wanted to thank Indiana University for the last 8 years, and just all the great memories and things established there, and just appreciate that opportunity and all the players that we were able to impact and coach. So appreciate that. Questions?
Please raise your hand. We'll take a mic to you. We can start with Mark right here, and if you could just introduce yourself and name your affiliation.
Hey Tom, Mark Brennan from Lions 247. Welcome to State College.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What went into your decision to take a job immediately rather than take a little bit of time off? I don't mean that to be insensitive, but I think a lot of people wonder, when you go through a sudden change like that, why dive right back into it? Thanks.
Well, you don't control the clock of the timing of things, so you respond as you do in most things in life. But, I think for me, I'm a football coach, and just love what I do. And this opportunity that presented itself at this time frame was one that I immediately had interest in, and obviously had a chance to go further into that and meet the coach and go through the process. But for me, I really expected to get back into it. Once things happened as they did, probably a little quicker than expected. But once again, that's the part you don't control. I just really have so much respect for this program, playing them for 8 straight years in our division, and obviously getting to know Coach Franklin and what he's built here and the way he does things. Just was super excited about that. So that's why when it came, opportunity presented itself, we went after it.
In the middle, John.
Hey Tom, John Sauber, 78 Times. Obviously, you spent the last 7 years as a head coach. What do you think the biggest difficulties will be when it comes to going back to being a defensive coordinator after spending so much time leading the program?
Well, I've really I stayed in that role as the DC for several of those years. I will say I'm looking forward to being able to just do that. It's really challenging to do both. And as things have changed the last few years, almost impossible to do both. So I look forward to just focusing on being the best defensive coordinator I possibly can be. And so I think, even as I talked to James about this and how he asked me about transitioning back, I said, man, I'm pretty excited about it. And there's a lot of things you have to do as a head coach that aren't as enjoyable. I love coaching football, and I love impacting the lives of the players. And I think I can focus on that solely now and not have to be called out of meetings and handle things that head coaches have to handle. And as the complexity of our college game has increased these last few years, it's even gotten more challenging. So I'm really, really looking forward to be able to focus on the things that I do best.
The far left corner, Allie.
Hi, Allie Berube, ABC27 Nittany Nation. Welcome.
Thank you.
You not only are the defensive coordinator, also the linebackers coach here at Linebacker U. What does that mean to you? How much have you been told about that and the standards that's been set here at that position?
Well, I didn't have to be told. I knew. I knew it was Linebacker U. I've known that for a long, long time. I played the position since I was in 5th grade and high school. Played for my dad. In college, played linebacker. My son played for me at Indiana. He played linebacker, and that's where my eyes go on that side of the ball. That's where my heart is, on that side of the football. And I sat in pretty much every linebacker meeting at Indiana, as the head coach. And so love that position. And I'm so excited to be able to be a part of a place that's known for that. Haven't had that happen before in my career. And so you just think of all the greats that have come here to play. Matter of fact, as I talked to some recruits, as I finally got a chance to do that last night when I got cleared here. And so it's the guys that we have in this class, the guys that we're recruiting. And watching the film of those guys, it really, really fires me up to be at a place that really attracts that elite level linebacker. We've had 3 All-Americans at Indiana the last 8 years at that position, and that hadn't happened in, I don't know, ever in that time frame to have that many. And the guys that we brought there developed and all finished as All-Americans. So just really excited about that position. Like I said, I love it. I know it. I see it. Like I said, that's how I kind of approach things. And that's the group that I'm really challenged to run our team, run our defense. I think that's what the leaders, that's what linebackers do. They make tackles and they make plays and they lead, with leadership and production. So just want to be able to take that to that group. I'm excited about the chance to lead the linebackers here at Penn State.
In the middle, John.
Hi, Tom. To your right. Sorry. John McGonigal, Penn Live. Nice to meet you. In your time at Indiana as head coach, What was your impression over the years of James Franklin and the program that he's built and cultivated here?
Well, just you seeing what he was able to come here and that situation that he walked into and to just systematically, build the program the way he wanted to build it and the culture that he built. I just think that you could just see as every year passed, the talent level increasing. I felt like I thought the players here physically, from when they got here to when they left, just the way they just moved and ran, and then you see how they tested, and when they were going to the draft, it just always seemed to be, just caught my eye that they're doing something right, and obviously the product on the field, the way the kids play, and just the physicality of the teams and the athleticism of the teams. Obviously when I first started playing, Saquon Barkley was the tailback we're trying to tackle, and so just so many great players. But I just think that the discipline of the team stuck out to me. You pay attention to, the programs and as things happen on and off the field, and just impressed with the way the players handle themselves. You see the guys at media day, and you always get a chance to interact with those players, and just the way they handle themselves has always been just first class to me. I just think class oozes from this place, and Coach Franklin and how he's done things. Went against him when he was at Vanderbilt. His last 2 years there were my first 2 years at Ole Miss, and got a chance to go against him there. So I just think that I think a thing that has stuck out to me for him is everywhere he's gone, his defense has played at a high level. Different defensive coordinators as well, but the mainstay is the way the defense plays. Like I said, all the way back to when we faced him his last 2 years at Vandy. So that's after being in the role of head coach, when you're trying to hire to the other side of the ball that you don't coach, it's a big deal. And to have that consistency that he's had there has been impressive. Within the program. So that's a tribute to him and being able to have a vision for what he knows he wants there and being able to make that a reality.
Front middle, Greg.
Coach Greg Pickle from Blue White Illustrated. Nice to meet you. Coach, over your coaching career, there's been a lot written about the type of defense that Tom Allen defenses play. In your words, what is a Tom Allen defense? What should Penn State fans be watching for or expect when your unit first takes the field next year?
Well, we say with our DNA, it's and wherever you go, it's not. I don't like to use the words mine and I. It's we and ours. And so we're going to play. It's about takeaways, tackling, and effort. We install those three things. That's our DNA every day: takeaways, tackling, and effort. And within that, man, we're going to be aggressive, attacking defenses. I think one thing we've been known for is just being really doing a good job at disguising things. Making that quarterback have to really process when the ball gets snapped. Take a lot of pride in that. Spend a lot of time with that, and changing windows. Just being able to be aggressive with that. And then there's a lot of similarities too. Even when Brent was here, we had talked and a lot of similarities. Even same thing with Manny. I've known Manny for several years. So there's a lot of similarities to the way we think and believe and do things. And so it's just part of the fit piece for us, and I'm sure for part of the fit piece for Coach Franklin. But to me, it's about letting your guys play fast, be very, very physical, and we just want to attack. And I want the guys to play free, and I want them to play with just absolute confidence. But that preparation is what creates that confidence. So you got a simplicity to you, but a complexity as it's presented to the offense.
Over here on the right, Audrey.
Hi, Audrey Snyder, The Athletic. James told us last week that he wanted to hire somebody who wasn't intimidated to take over the top-ranked defense in the country. I guess, why do you feel like you're the right guy for that? And also, how do you kind of go through the next few weeks with getting familiar with this roster? You mentioned talking to recruits. How do you balance and navigate all of that?
Well, first of all, your first question, I just think that it's expectation. You want to be a place where expectations are high. But there's no question. I mean, you go through and you look at what they were able to accomplish this past season. It's pretty impressive now. It hasn't happened very often, and statistically how they've dominated in the run game and the throw game and leading the country in sacks and just disrupting. That's what I kind of think of it. So, but at the same time, you want to go a place where the expectations are high, but the standards are high, and that's what's been said here. And hats off to Coach Diaz and what he did, and obviously the whole staff. They did a great job and great chemistry. You could tell, and a lot of great people in that room, and that didn't happen by accident. And it's obviously the players and all what they did and their buy-in. So, but that excites me. And I want to be able to build off what they've had here, and I love the fact that there's a standard and expectation you're going to play great defense at Penn State. And that's been going on a long time before any of us got here, you know. So that's that positive pressure that you all want, that to be in, to be able to allow yourself to be driven towards greatness, which is what I want to chase after every day. And then you think about the second part is how you build relationships. That's my big goal here these couple of weeks, is getting to know the players and spend time with them. I can do that now. I'm going to be going to the bowl site and being there, and that's going to be one of my big objectives, is meet with our guys and watch them practice and watch their practice habits and watch them communicate. Because I think about the linebackers and how they talk and communicate within, you know, their rooms, and as well, and sit in those meeting rooms and see how they interact with the coaches and get to build relationships with our coaching staff as well. So relationship building is going to be number one, and then I'm going to continue to watch film. You know, I'm really going to study and continue to study, been doing that already, you know, our players and being able to do a great job of meshing all the great things that have been accomplished here this season and the way they've been able to get it done, and really doing a great job of just building off that and enhancing it.
In the middle, Mike?
Hi, Coach. Welcome to State College. Mike Foreman, StateCollege.com. Michael Penix Jr., 2020. Was that a touchdown or not?
Oh, it was a touchdown. And so, but you know, I get it. It depends on what glasses you're wearing. You know, I guarantee you that depends on who you're cheering for and which side you're on. Obviously, it was very contested, both sides, and reviewed and talked about it to nauseam. But I got a big old picture in my office that shows that he scored, and it was a touchdown back then. That's probably still considered a touchdown today. It'd be considered a touchdown 20 years from now. So, but bottom line is it was a great game, and that was a great win for the Indiana Hoosiers.
In the back here, Ben.
Hey Tom, Ben Jones, StateCollege.com. Going off of what Mike said, what is it like to join a program that you've had the shared experiences with on the other side of the ball? You know, to have had something like that game or that play where you're on the right side and now you're on the other side. What is it like to join?
Unique. You know, I was even in the interview process. We were watching film, and we're actually watching film of our game that we played several weeks ago. And you don't usually have a chance to kind of talk about, hey, this was the call and this is what happened on this play. And as we're going through and kind of explaining what we were doing, and we were talking about what they were doing, and even watching their offense. So a lot of unique things about the dynamic of it all. To be able to move to not only a team that you played, but a whole conference that you played against. So I think a tremendous advantage to be able to know your opponents, know a lot of the coaches and how they do things, and even from a program perspective, even a schematic perspective, and recruiting perspective as well. So I haven't had this situation before where I've kind of moved, in this way, in this time frame, so I think it will give us some unique advantages for sure. But it's definitely not something I've ever done before, but it's made the transition actually a little bit easier.
In the back left, Ryan.
Hey Tom, Ryan Risky with WTAJ Nittany Nation. Welcome to Happy Valley.
Thank you.
I was wondering, how do you feel that the current personnel that Penn State has is going to fit the style of defense that you want to run? Yeah,
I tell you what, just that's been probably going to be, as they talk about, building relationships and watching practice, really trying to evaluate that. And I'm impressed with our personnel. Obviously you're going to have some departures of guys that go in the NFL or graduating, going to have to replace those, and that's going to be a huge priority. But that's also why you have the developmental part of your program. You have guys that have been here and been working, and now this is their opportunity, and to be able to enhance that. So I think that there's a lot of depth at some key spots that you rely on to do the things you want to do, the things that they were able to do successfully these last few years, and especially this past season. And so we got a lot of those guys coming back as well. So I'm excited about being able to, and it's like this every year. You're always going to kind of tweak some things and look at it in the off season. We're going to do that right now to be able to maximize the skill sets and strengths of our roster and the guys that we have. Like I said, I have the advantage of watching them as from the other side of the lens as an opposing coach, and now being able to figure out how the best way to use those guys. So I feel like we've kind of got a good perspective on that, but definitely gonna have a way deeper chance to get to know them. And I'm looking for that. That excites me to be able to get in there, dive in there, tweak some things with what you want to do to be able to maximize the current roster, and obviously the guys we just signed today, a lot of special players there, and really looking forward to that process.
On the right, Daniel.
Tom, Daniel Gallen, Lions 24/7. The last two people that held your job went on to become head coaches. One was the first timer, one was returning to that spot. Is that something that, as you look forward in your career, would you like to be a head coach again? Is that something that feel like this could help you get there?
You know, I'm not coming here for that purpose, I'll tell you that. You know, I'm coming here to be defensive coordinator. You know, I'm 53 years old. I've had some great opportunities. I am so fired up to be in this position at this place. And so really, you know, been through that in the last 7 years and learned a ton now. I'm telling you, it's been, and I think about that role. I feel like I've grown so much since the last time I was a defensive coordinator only and not the head coach, and want to use that to really allow me to be a better defensive coordinator, a better assistant. I've sat in, you know, Coach Franklin's seat, you know, been in all those meetings with him and know what that feels like and the things you have to do. And I feel like I'm going to be a much better assistant, a much better, you know, leader of the defense, and I'm very excited about that role and can't wait to be able to have that as my focus and not the 10,000 other things that you have to do with your head coach.
In the middle, Max.
Hey Tom, Max Ralph with All Penn State. Welcome, like everybody else said. I'm wondering if you can kind of expound on the process with building relationships. As I mean, signing day came out one day after you were officially announced, and also transfer portal running rampant. How does that kind of whirlwind go on? How does that process work for you? If you could just expound on that a little bit.
Yeah, so that's a great question. So basically, now that I'm cleared to be able to talk to the guys here, that process, and it'll happen at the bowl site for our players since they've already gone home. And then we're really going to use this time to reach out to the commits and get a chance to talk to them more. I had a chance to FaceTime with them last night, you know, which was awesome. But you're going through and you're watching the guy, and then you talk to him, you know, it's kind of that efficient. You know, I've had a chance to look at some of them ahead of time. Obviously, we recruited some of those guys as well throughout the process before they got here. But want to do that, and then I want to get a chance to sit down with guys one-on-one. I'm a big one-on-one guy. I believe in that. You can't really get to know somebody without spending time with them, and that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. I talk about when you say about build relationships, that's not just hanging out with them during practice or being around them, being near them physically. It's one-on-one time, getting to know them, getting to know their families and just every part of their life, the things that they value, what's important to them, and that takes time. So when I start doing those one-on-one, I meet with every single player on defense individually, and then be able to build those relationships and be able to find out what their goals are, and I want to be able to align those things up with the things that I think they need to do to be able to reach those. And then we're going to say, okay, how do you go to chase greatness every single day? Meet with our guys one-on-one. We're going to map out personally, academically, and in football. And so to me, that whole process, and so once I know this is what they want, and this is how they think they're going to get there, I want to make sure their daily habits align with the goals that they have in their life. So that's a big part of it for me, but it's a time-consuming process that I really look forward to. And then obviously, the building relationships with coaches is just a daily thing. And I'm just going to do a similar thing with those guys as well. But the bottom line is that all this stuff takes time, and I'm looking forward to being able. That's why it's so important that I was here. You know, get this process, you know, where it is now from a time frame perspective, so I can get to the bowl site and now fully cleared and able to interact and sit in meetings now and watch them practice and really take the relationship to that level.
In the front, right, Neil?
Hey Tom, Neil Riddell from the Altoona Mirror. Can you share with us, because the clock is ticking, did you reach out to James? Did he reach out to you when things are moving that quickly? And also, what about your roots with Penn State? Who were the first linebackers here that you watched, noticed, and admired?
You know, I would say, you know, from a, you know, obviously James reached out to me. You know, I didn't reach out to him. So, but that kind of started the process, and then it kind of went from there. But you know, for me, you know, my wife's from Pennsylvania. You know, and so she's from Pottstown and born and raised there, and her whole family is, you know, from this state. And so, interesting story. So when I was in college, we first started dating. We actually went to college at Maranatha Baptist University in Wisconsin. So we met there our freshman year. So that first summer, I wanted to go visit her. And so I didn't have any money, so I took a Greyhound bus. It took me 18 hours to drive from Indianapolis, Indiana to, I think it was King of Prussia, is where I ended up going to. And I you know, you see Greyhounds, you know, you go past, and I had no idea that they stopped at every single town. That's why it took 18 hours. I mean, it's like twice, and it's a long, long trip. And so I did that twice. After our freshman year and after our sophomore year. So hopefully she knew and her parents knew that I was, you know, serious about it, because I wasn't going to do that for just any old buddy. But that was kind of my first experience with the turnpike, you know, and that whole process of getting from A to B, and it took a long, long time. So, but anyway, I just finished so many great linebackers here that it's just, you know, gosh, I just feel like that as a kid, I mean, you watch Penn State play, and you look at the linebackers. You know, we saw Sean Lee today was the guy that was doing one of the intros for our commits. And I'm just like, man, Dan Kyler's in our room, and he's a guy that stuck out to me because I was coaching at the time, but man, I just loved the way he played the game and just so physical, and I just, man, there's just so many of them, and I just feel like that's become the expectation that when you come here, at that position, man, you're gonna have an opportunity to be special and be great, and that's why the coach in that room is an awesome thing, and I just really feel so blessed to be in this role, and man, it's just to have that kind of tradition, with the way we've been fortunate to develop. I coached Demario Davis at Arkansas State, and he's gone on to have a tremendous career at linebacker, and just so many guys. It's really been elite and special, and so and it's such an important position for defense. It's just if you want to have a great defense, you got great linebackers. I've said that every place we've been, and I challenge those guys to that end, and they got to verbally lead. They can't just lead by example. That's just doing your job, right? And so, but that to me is what you see. You see the guys communicating and talking and flying around and making plays. So just really looking forward to leading that group.
Got time for 2 more questions. We got Tyler over here on the right.
Hello, Tyler Donahue from Lions 24/7. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm curious, you've referenced so much of the stuff that's now off your plate, that you leave behind the CDO type role. What are you putting on your plate now that you're most excited about? That you're excited to maybe get back to the roots of what your career was about before you stepped up?
Yeah, I think it's being able to dive into the film room, to really study in the off season. When you're a head coach, man, you spend so much time doing that, all those things we talked about, and even the recruiting part of it with the whole team that you're involved with just takes so much time, and so and everything else. So I want to be able to really study, and I love this time of year once we get off the road and being able to just talk ball, talk ball with guys. I already talked with some DCs about getting together, and I haven't done that, in the last 7 years. Just meeting places and watching film, sharing ideas and bouncing things off each other, and guys that you really respect and do some things similar to schematically. And so that's a big thing that I haven't been able to do. And I think also just, you'd be able to, be in the meeting room and be able to, not get interrupted, just to be able to have that consistent time to be able to, focus on what you want to be able to do, to kind of dive more into the evaluation of the why part of defense. I think that to me, there's no magic defense. The magic, I believe, is in the players, and the magic is in their belief, but you got to know why. You got to have answers, and so the why part of what you do, I think you have a time in the offseason to really dive into that. And really kind of come up with some better answers for things, and to be able to have those little wrinkles that can be the difference in a game, and kind of and really zero in on different phases of, whether it's the red zone or, third downs or, just focus on base downs and say, what can we do to really make our system better? And you do that from a peripheral perspective as the head coach, but you really assign that to other people. And so I want to really dive into that myself because that helps me. And so just, growing in that area, and it's a time, piece, and so you get a chance to really dive into those. And I, for me, it's more time with a smaller group of guys, to really build even deeper relationships, with your players, because I think that's really what, sets apart the way that we try to do things and have done things for a long time is I want to coach from my heart to theirs. I want to capture their hearts and their minds. Well, how do you do that? Well, you do it by really spending lots of time with them, and that's it. It may be watching film with them, one-on-one or with small groups, and being able to show them how you can help them take their game to another level. So that really excites me to be able to have that time to do those things.
Last question, front left, Zach.
Hey, Coach Zach Seiko, Locked On Nittany Lions podcast. What are your thoughts on the number 11 linebacker spot, the history of it, the stardom of it, and whether it's Abdul Carter or someone else wearing number 11, how it would fit into your system?
Well, you think about LeVar Arrington and the way he played, and that's kind of become the standard, and guys want to become that, and obviously, Micah Parsons has been a guy that wore that number well recently, and I got to see him up close and personal, and was glad to see him move to the next level because he was almost unblockable, and so I just feel like that anytime you have a number like that has so much history, and so much legacy and expectation. It's pretty cool. It's pretty special, you know, and especially because when you put that number on, you better play to that standard, you know, because all those guys that work before you, they're watching, you know, and there's an expectation for that. So I think it's neat to have, you know, those are kind of things that you can't fabricate that. You know, I could, hey, we're gonna make this number, whatever. No, it has to be the person that initially wore it, that has to mean something. You know, it has to be, you know, so special that, there's pride in that. And then when you choose it, and I don't even know the process that we've gone through here as far as that, but I know who's worn it, you know, and so I just think that it's pretty awesome to be a part of a place that has that, especially a position that has so much value. You know, and so, and the current guy wearing it, you know, just, you know, matter of fact, I had a chance today to meet him in the weight room. I hadn't had a chance to talk to him, you know, and so met him today, talked to him for a few minutes there, introduced myself to him, and just, you know, commented about, you know, we had a tough time blocking you, man, so now you're trying to find creative ways to help you become unblockable. You know, and so he's a big athlete that can run and move, and I think I think his best football is ahead of him. I really do. I believe that, and so I think he's got a great opportunity to keep growing and developing, and I'm really looking forward to doing what I mentioned to you about that time together, that one-on-one time, and because I think he's a guy that can be, you know, has been really special, but can take his game to a higher level. I hope to expect to lead him to that place.
All right, thank you very much.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Have an awesome day.